ever pondered how electric cars came into existence and their true impact on our environment? Well, it's a fascinating journey that takes us back to the mid-19th century. Yes, you heard it right. The birth of electric cars wasn't a 21st century marvel. In fact, these eco-friendly machines had their inception back in the 1800s, around the same time when the first internal combustion engines were being developed. A handful of inventors from various corners of the world were experimenting with battery-powered vehicles. Among them, Thomas Davenport, a blacksmith from Vermont, is often credited with building the first practical electric vehicle, a small locomotive. As we moved into the early 20th century, electric cars actually gained quite a bit of popularity. They were clean, quiet, and easy to operate, compared to their gasoline-powered counterparts, which were noisy, smelly, and required a hand crank to start. Sounds like a clear winner, right? Well, things took a different turn with the advent of the internal combustion engine. Henry Ford's Model T, introduced in 1908, was not only affordable but also boasted a greater range and quicker refueling times. This marked a significant shift in the automotive industry. The discovery of large petroleum reserves further fueled the dominance of gas-powered vehicles. The electric car, which was once a common sight on the streets, began to fade into obscurity. By the 1920s, the internal combustion engine had decisively won the battle, and electric cars were largely relegated to niche applications. But remember, every sunset has a dawn. The decline of electric vehicles wasn't the end of their story. As we became more conscious of the environmental impact of our actions, the stage was set for a revival. The initial chapter of electric vehicles was cut short, but as we all know, they made a triumphant return. Now let's gear up to learn more about this resurgence in the next scene. Stay tuned. I'll fast forward to the 21st century, a time when environmental concerns began to take center stage. The resurgence of electric vehicles in the modern era was no accident. A combination of technological advancements and a growing awareness of environmental issues spurred a renewed interest in this once neglected mode of transportation. Leading the charge were companies like Tesla, Nissan, and Chevrolet. Tesla, under the visionary leadership of Elon Musk, shook the automotive industry with the release of the Tesla Roadster in 2008. This all-electric sports car demonstrated that electric vehicles could not only match but surpass their gas-guzzling counterparts in terms of performance. The Roadster boasted a range of over 200 miles on a single charge and could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just under 4 seconds, shattering the perception that electric cars were slow and impractical. Not to be outdone, Nissan introduced the Leaf in 2010. The Leaf, unlike the high-end Roadster, was aimed squarely at the mass market. It was an affordable, practical, and fully electric vehicle that quickly became a bestseller. By 2020, the Nissan Leaf had sold over 500,000 units worldwide, proving that electric cars could be not just a niche luxury product, but a viable option for everyday driving. Technological advancements played a crucial role in this revival. Innovations in battery technology increased the range of electric cars, while improvements in power electronics and motor design enhanced their performance. Charging infrastructure also expanded dramatically, making owning and operating an electric vehicle more convenient than ever before. But this resurgence was not just about technology. It was also about a shift in our collective consciousness. As the reality of climate change became impossible to ignore, more and more people started looking for ways to reduce their carbon footprint. Electric cars, with their zero tailpipe emissions, emerged as a compelling solution to this global challenge. The comeback of electric cars was not just about technology, but also about a growing consciousness of our environmental footprint. Now, the million-dollar question is, are electric cars really as green as they claim to be? Let's take a closer look. The environmental impact of electric cars is a topic of heated debate. Yes, they emit zero tailpipe emissions, but the story doesn't end there. You see, the production and disposal of their batteries is a significant environmental factor. Creating an electric vehicle battery requires a substantial amount of raw materials, such as lithium, cobalt, and nickel. Extracting these minerals from the earth can lead to deforestation, soil erosion, and water contamination. Not to mention the energy-intensive process of turning these raw materials into a functional battery often relies on fossil fuels. And what about once these batteries reach the end of their life? Well, while they can be recycled, the process is complex, expensive, and not without its own environmental footprint. However, advancements in battery recycling technology are being made, promising a more sustainable future. But let's not get too caught up in the negatives. It's crucial to consider the concept of well-to-wheel efficiency. This measures the total emissions from the extraction of raw materials through to the production and consumption of energy. When we look at the bigger picture, electric cars consistently outperform their gas-guzzling counterparts. For instance, a traditional vehicle might achieve around 25% well-to-wheel efficiency. An electric car, on the other hand, can reach up to 60% efficiency. That's more than double. And as our electricity grids continue to green, these numbers will only improve. So, are electric cars a perfect solution? Not quite. But are they a step in the right direction? Absolutely. We're witnessing the evolution of a technology that's still in its infancy. As we continue to innovate and adapt, the environmental footprint of electric cars will undoubtedly decrease. Like any technology, electric cars have their own set of environmental challenges, but they also hold the potential for major improvements. Batteries, the heart of an electric vehicle, yet also its Achilles heel. Our journey into the world of electric cars now brings us face to face with the power source, the battery. The battery, a marvel of modern technology, is what makes the electric car tick. But how are these energy storage wonders made? Well, the process begins with the extraction of raw materials, mainly lithium, nickel, cobalt, and manganese. These materials are mined from the earth, a process that often involves significant environmental disruption and high energy consumption. Once extracted, these materials undergo various processes to transform them into a usable form for battery production. Now let's pause for a moment and consider the environmental impact. Mining, especially when it comes to rare earth elements like those used in batteries, can cause significant environmental damage, including deforestation, soil erosion, and water contamination. Not to mention the carbon emissions associated with the energy-intensive refining process. So, while electric cars may not emit any pollutants while they're being driven, the production of their batteries does have a considerable environmental footprint. This is the paradox at the heart of the electric vehicle revolution. The very thing that makes these vehicles possible is also a source of significant environmental concern. But it's not all doom and gloom. The industry is acutely aware of these issues and is actively working towards making batteries more sustainable and efficient. For instance, researchers are exploring new ways to recycle batteries and recover the valuable materials within them. Others are investigating alternatives to the current lithium-ion technology, such as solid-state batteries, which could offer higher energy density and better safety. Moreover, efforts are being made to reduce the reliance on harmful mining practices. Companies are exploring ways to obtain raw materials more sustainably, such as by extracting lithium from seawater or recycling electronic waste. The battery conundrum is indeed a complex issue, but with continued innovation and a commitment to sustainability, the industry can overcome these challenges. The future of electric cars hinges on the development of more sustainable and efficient batteries. As we cruise into the future, what does the road look like for electric vehicles? When we think of the future, it's hard not to consider the evolving landscape of electric vehicles. It's a landscape changing as quickly as the technology that drives it. The advancements we're seeing today are just the beginning, with the road ahead looking even more promising. Let's start with battery technology. It's the heart of any electric car, and it's undergoing some exciting transformations. Researchers are working tirelessly to increase the energy density of batteries while decreasing their size and cost. This means future electric cars will be able to drive further on a single charge and at a lower cost. Lithium-air and solid-state batteries are two promising frontiers that could revolutionize electric car capabilities. Next, consider the growth of charging infrastructure. We're seeing more and more charging stations popping up in cities and along highways. Governments and private companies alike are recognizing the need for a comprehensive charging network. In the near future, finding a charging station will be as easy as finding a gas station is today. And then there's the potential for autonomous electric cars. Imagine a world where your car drives you. where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. This isn't just a sci-fi dream anymore. Companies like Tesla are making significant strides in autonomous driving technology, and it's all being powered by electricity. But what does all this mean for our planet? Well, the long-term environmental benefits of a shift towards electric mobility are substantial. As the grid becomes cleaner and as electric cars become more efficient, we'll see a significant reduction in carbon emissions. This isn't just good for the environment, it's essential for our survival. As we look to the future, it's clear that electric cars aren't just a fad. They're the way forward. They're an integral part of our journey towards a more sustainable future. The journey of electric cars is just beginning, and it's a journey that could shape the future of our planet.